Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is part 3 of our review on the Riley Defense American-made 7.62x39 Krink. Now, if you've missed it, I'll go ahead and give you a brief rundown of where we are at this point. So in the first video, we did an unboxing. No shots, so it was just my point-blank opinion. No shots downrange, just pulling it out of the box and telling you how I felt about the way it looked, the way it felt, how rough it was, how clean it was, whatever. So feel free to go check out the unboxing if you want to see that. In part 2, we shot 505 rounds through this gun. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but it definitely had its ups and downs. And I think overall, the gun ran really well. I think we're well beyond a break-in period at this point. So, you know, take that video for what you will. In this video, we have another 500 rounds that we're going to jam through this thing. And I know there's like a common theme in some of these review videos where people say, that's not that much rounds. Not that many people will blast 500 rounds in a day, usually within an hour of shooting. We only really have this range for an hour today, so I'm going to try to get 500 rounds through this thing in an hour. All the mags are preloaded to help speed up that process and really to keep the gun hot. So what's happened on the gun since the last video? I showed in the video that there is a little bit of wear on the bolt, and I think by the time this video comes out, you've already been well aware. There's a ton of pictures online from AK Quality, Print Shoot Repeat, Fit and Fire, other guys that have this gun that are showing similar wear on the bolt. Is it premature? Is it not? Some people say yes. So some people say that it's definitely too premature and that the gun is losing headspace. I don't know. I don't have a gauge. I've ordered one. I couldn't get it here in time. But we will check that eventually, I promise. Stick around. We check headspace at the end of this video. Other people have said to just, keep sending it. If the wear stops, it stops. So, with AKs, it's just like some AKs wear, some don't. I mean, I've got Bulgarian AKs with thousands and thousands of rounds, and the bolts still look brand new. I've got Romanian AKs with thousands of rounds, and their bolts kind of look like the way this bolt looks now after only 500. So, personally, I think it's a bit much on the wear. But, like, the whole goal of this video is to do another 500 and compare side by side the pictures from the first 500 to this one. So we just want to keep an eye on that. Now, that's really all the bad that I have to say about it, was just a little bit of wear on the bolt. It's been shooting great. We've added some aftermarket. American gun, American stock. I know, don't throw open your mouth too much, but this is the SAG M4 adapter for the 4.5 pin 100 series style trunnions. Fits really good. Really well, actually, and it looks kind of cool. It doesn't look as gross as like a buffer tube would look, but yeah. And I tried to put the smallest AR stock on here that I had, the little MLK. I think these are really cool Magpul stocks because they're just small, they're minimal, and they look kind of okay on AKs. Like the bigger Magpul stocks on AKs, I think look super gross. I think that's more than enough. We went ahead and put my sriracha sauce on there, the ALG trigger, and for a couple of reasons. I love the trigger so much that I really honestly put it in like every AK that I own. I just think it's a badass upgrade and changes the whole shooting experience. And there was really nothing wrong with the original trigger. I found the original trigger to be pretty good and I could shoot it fast, but the hammer face was really gritty and added a ton of resistance to the bolt. And I thought, what am I gonna do? Do I polish the factory hammer, or do I just put an ALG in it if I'm gonna go through all the trouble of polishing the hammer? So to me, that was time well spent instead. I put the ALG in there, polished up the hammer, and that really slicked up the action, although the action still is not the smoothest action I've ever felt. Still a little rough. We put a US palm grip on there, and it's got some goon tape on there. The factory grip, not a big fan of it. It's really thin, and it's just honestly something I change out on a lot of AKs if I'm gonna modernize them. And my go-to are these US palm grips. You just can't beat that grip angle. For the price, they are amazing grips, and with a little bit of goon tape, they're even better. The safety, I know, looks just like the factory safety, and you would be right. This is an actual Krebs safety, so the factory gun comes with a safety that is extremely close to a Krebs safety. The only issue I had with it, it was very tight, and I tried to loosen it. The problem is all of the tension was here, and when you have a safety that has a ton of tension here, it's kind of hard to tune that without like filing it. I didn't feel like doing that. I had a Krebs safety sitting in a box, popped it in there, loosened it up, and it is brilliant. So we're gonna rock an actual Krebs safety just to really get as much as we can out of that extra tang there. The biggest change was the muzzle device. We actually put a J-Mac muzzle brake on here. I think they call these like the X37. I don't know. I forget their nomenclature, but it's a big ass 2-chamber muzzle brake for 24mm threads, and it's actually a suppressor mount as well. We can actually direct thread the Putnik can on this device, which is kind of cool. Boost, brake, and suppressor mount, all in one. Pretty cool. The gear that we're running in this video is another Davrinoff rig. This is a handmade leather chest rig by Davrinoff out of Brooklyn, and I actually got a new enhancement for it. There's like this little fanny pack that actually couples on to the factory rings that come on his rig. Just a lot of handy uses, and I made sure it was M81 to match the chest rig. The chest rig's been I wore it a lot, so it's kind of beat up and dull and started to look a little bit different. This kind of looks fresh and new, but eventually they will all start to match. Woo-hoo-hoo! Man, I hate boosters. ALG trigger's working. I think we're done with this thing. I want to see fireballs, and I want less recoil. Less recoil, and damn, that's got some freaking muzzle blast. Oh man. Yeah. All right, let's do a 40. By the way, if you want to support the channel in any way, the best way to do that is to go to thirdpinthreads.com. I'm actually wearing one of our machine gun hoodies today. It's got some pretty cool AK outline designs. Looks like we got a Colt Commando, an MP5, and an AK. Pretty sweet. Go by thirdpinthreads.com. We have hoodies, t-shirts, hats, all kinds of cool stuff that directly affects this channel when you buy that stuff. I don't want to do Patreon, and I don't want to do Leviathan paid ad reads for ball sack razors. So this way you get something for your cash, and it's greatly appreciated. Back to the video. Yes. One of these days, we really put a K&S piston in this thing to see if we can really turn that recoil down. Okay, so this thing's loud AF. So I think we're gonna put the Putnik back on with this new muzzle device. There's some outer threads here that will actually correspond to this guy if you take the thread adapter out. Now, I checked this with an alignment rod last night. When this can was directly threaded on, it was like dead center on the alignment rod. This muzzle brake, I'm kind of risking it for the biscuit here because this muzzle brake's a little long, so it kind of like stops on the inside of the can. It's got a nice big flat surface, but this is definitely not ideal. And I put a dowel rod in it again to check, and it was like, okay, but it was not totally centered anymore. And it's just because not the ideal muzzle device for this can. So we're gonna take a couple of shots, we'll check the tip, and then we'll keep going. Main reason I wanted to try this, in the last video, the Resilient Cam, the can keeps loosening. It really has nothing to tighten into. It just directly threads onto the 24mm threads. I'm hoping that this solution will keep it tight for longer. So let's go ahead and try it out. Oh yeah. Went through clean. Yeah. All right. Again, less recoil with the can. Nice. No point of impact shift. All right, one little last double check. Oh yeah, it has not loosened up at all. All right, got a little surprise for you. This is the Bear 196 grain subsonic ammo that does not come in the country anymore. But I always save it for like special occasions. This Putnik can is freaking rad. And this is a short gun. Typically this ammo does not work on short guns, so I don't think it will work. But let's just see how quiet it is. Does look pretty cool. I'm gonna take an ear off for this one. Very quiet, and I don't think it cycled. It did cycle. Whoa, it has no recoil. One into the steel. Man, I've never really had good luck shooting this ammo through short barrels. Very interesting. Just to show you how light that recoil is with subs. Whoa. Whoa, dude. Wow. I got 20 more rounds of that stuff. Let me go get it. Go. Bottom edge. It seemed like when I started aiming belt buckle hold, like right around here, I saw on the camera I had a couple of shots. So I thought, maybe I'm aiming too low. So after a bit more shooting and putting my dot literally like right here, took 3 shots as easy as I could on the trigger pull. And then I saw these 3. Maybe you guys will see that better. And I'll take a look at post edit and see if I'm like, make sure I'm not talking out of my ass. But then I saw 3 really close targets. So that's about as precise as we get with steel case Krink dot. But that is a pretty tight little group though, I will say, for kind of winging it. Anyway, there's that. We're down to our last few mags. I'm gonna try to shoot all 3 of these as fast as I can. That'll round us out. We'll get a final ammo count, and then, you know, I don't know. That's about as hard as you can be on a gun. It's suppressed, and we are about to load 3 full mags through it, basically nonstop. I'm gonna try to film it as quickly as possible to really keep the heat on this. This gun is very hot, even right now. Remember, we've done all this filming in like an hour, and I'm basically out of time in like 8 minutes, so let's finish up. Getting real close to that 1,000 round mark. I haven't popped the top on this thing once today. We've had no malfunctions. 0. Oh, gassy. Oh man, that was really gassy. My right eye started to close up, but yes. No malfunctions. Let's do our final dump of the day. Woo! Oh, a little hard with the drum. Ooh. Oh man, didn't have a hammer reset. Let's go ahead and just shoot it like normal. Man, you should have seen that casing extraction and ejection. It was super uniform. Oh shit, very, very hot. I tried to bump fire it for you, but oh well. Not a single baffle strike on the end of the can at all today. This mounting setup works really good, and it kept the can on tighter longer. Every now and again I had to put a little stank on it, but that was the last 30 rounds, YouTube, so piss off. Whew. And we're back at La Casa. So I have a round count today. We shot 13 30 rounders, 2 20 rounders, 1 of the extra long 30 rounders, and then 1 of the round 30 rounders. So that gives us a grand total today shooting 545 rounds, plus the 505 that we shot last time, a grand total of 1,050 rounds. That little area right there, the groove is definitely there, but I don't think it's gotten worse. I'll show you a picture here up close. And then another area was here, that little bit of movement there. And then I think the most concerning part was this locking lug here. I don't even know if concerning is the right word, but it definitely has a little bit of movement there. I'll tell you, we shot the balls off this thing today, and malfunction-wise, there were none. We had no malfunctions, and we've even like changed out trigger components and done other things. So, man, I think we're gonna keep shooting this gun. I really would like to push this round count higher. Ammo is expensive, so I'll do the best I can. But that's that. And the one thing I wanted to see, the first 500 rounds was factory trigger. The second 500 rounds was an ALG. So let's take a look at that tang and see what we see here. I mean, it's got splash. Newsflash though, all AKs do this. They really do. And the ALG kind of speeds that process up. But yeah, the carrier's like more than fine. I just don't see anything. I mean, there's just nothing there I would be concerned about. And I'll take some stills. So from what AK Quality Enforcement was telling me, Riley Defense told him that, like, hey, you're going to see a little bit there. Parts will relax together, and they will. I mean, all AKs eventually start to show a little bit. I think everyone was just thinking to themselves, it seems like it's happening a little too soon. Now, I know even like Robski has chimed in on this too, that, hey, if it moves to a certain point and stops moving and you don't lose headspace, there's nothing to worry about there. And he's right. I would definitely agree with that.
All right, so this is a go gauge. Closes really nice, plenty tight, no wiggle, no wobble. It's not going to close on a no-go, I guarantee it, but this is a no-go. That's headspace. I mean, that's perfect. I mean, it's not getting any better than that.
Safe to shoot.
Oh, by a long shot, yeah.
All right.
No, that's 100% good. We can try it with the carrier. We'll show that the carrier does go all the way in the battery. I mean, I didn't get any better than that. And remember, like I said, your steel case ammo is always going to be slightly smaller than your go gauge. So even with like a live round, a steel case round, yeah, you're tight, but there's no wobble, there's no wibble. And also there's not a lot of side-to-side play either. I mean, there's a little bit there, but that's pretty standard. So I'd shoot that. I'd put another 10,000 rounds to that.
Let's do it.
Who's paying for it?
All right, safe to shoot. Test goes on.
Wow, dude, who did this? This looks like shit.
Shut up, I did that. It was done with haste.
You want me to fix that real quick?
No, get out of here, no. And there you have it. Perfectly healthy headspace, still totally safe to shoot. So I'm not really gonna let the bolt scare me anymore. You know, I really looked at some other bolts that I have, my Draco bolt, my Bulgarian 107 bolt with a ton of rounds, but they both look really chewed up. And it kind of put things into perspective for me. I'd really just forgotten how much 7.62 bolts will wear over time while still holding perfectly healthy headspace for tens of thousands of rounds. So far, the gun is still safe to shoot. And my overall thoughts on this thing after 1,000+ rounds are that it was super reliable, it suppressed so well, and it was just really freaking fun. So, you know, again, I don't care if you end up picking one of these up or not. I really don't care how you feel about it. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. The gun was very fun to shoot. It was just really stress-free at the range. We had that one little hiccup way back in the first 200 rounds on the same mag, but other than that, totally stress-free with everything that we threw at it. So just take that for what it is. I will continue to shoot this thing. So next time, let's try to shoot it at a match and see what we can do. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys hanging in there and watching this video series on these Krink Wars. They've been fun to make. So watch out for the next one. Love you, bye.